folks, welcome back to 3 Zen. So the first thing I want to talk with you about this morning is a little bit about this War Department report I picked up somewhere along the line. Who knows? I pick up this stuff. It's from the Office of the Chief Signal Officer, Washington, D.C., dated February 28th, 1914. Now, like I said, this is a copy of the report. It says, Memorandum for the Chief of Staff, subject, mortality in Army aviation. Since the initiation of aviation in the Army in 1908, there have been 11 fatal accidents resulting in the death of 12 commissioned officers, 1 non-commissioned officer, and 1 civilian. Of those killed, 9 were pilots, 3 military, 1 civilian, and 5 passengers as follows. And it gives a laundry list here of let me see, I want to say of 11 accidents. Now today I'm going to tell you about the third person killed in an aircraft accident, a fellow named Lieutenant Leighton Hazlehurst. And I chose him for a myriad of reasons. Number one, I suppose, is George Carlin was a bad influence on me. Once I heard him say, everybody talks about the last Mohican. What about the second to the last Mohican? Nobody gives a shit. So anyway, I kind of picked up on that. I've got a sick mind, okay? So, Lieutenant Hazlehurst is a distant relative of wife 1.0, my first wife. Her maiden name was Meade, but Bobby Meade was married to Jean Hazlehurst, and that's where the track goes back. And so that's how I heard about Leighton in the beginning, and then I've subsequently done a little digging. So Leighton Hazlehurst was born in 1886 on 25 July, and he died on 11 June 1912, so he's 26 years old. He graduated from West Point in 1907. And what's fascinating about this is his roommate at the time was a fellow named Hap Arnold. And when Leighton was killed, Hap Arnold told the family he'd probably never fly again. It was that devastating to Hap Arnold. Well, we all know how that story turned out. The Hazlehurst family had implored upon Hap Arnold to take Leighton Hazlehurst's uniforms and to wear them with pride and so forth. At any rate, Leighton was killed in a Wright Model C at College Park. And he was, like I said, he was a passenger. He was a military rep, if you will, on an acceptance flight. Needless to say, the aircraft did not pass the flight that day. The guy was seen to have put, the pilot's name was Mr. A. Welsh. So Mr. Welsh was seen by eyewitnesses to have put the airplane in a little bit of a dive. They actually give the description here. Angle about 45 degrees with the power on, glided down to this position to a height of 30-35 feet. And then he was seen to work his levers, and the machine came up to the horizontal position when it seemed to quiver, and the wings appeared as if they were raised up, the ends being 2 to 3 feet higher than the center section. So you can take the conjecture from here, the over-G, the airplane, kind of sounds like it. The accident occurred at 5:13 p.m., and Leighton was killed. Probable cause in this accident, error in judgment on the part of the pilot gliding with power on and pulling the machine up too suddenly. Simple. At any rate, they speared in, and Hazlehurst, Leighton is buried in Arlington Cemetery today. So, after he was killed, they had an airfield being built in New York. I think it's out on Long Island. And they named it after him, Hazlehurst Field, in April 1917. Then about a year later, the mayor of New York City went out and speared in. He was going through pilot training, and he died on 16 July 1918. So they renamed Hazlehurst Field to Mitchell Field. him being the mayor of New York City, a former mayor, I guess. And then about a year, not even much more than a year later, Quentin Roosevelt was shot down and killed in World War One. So they renamed the field after him then. You see what's happening here? Interesting. Anyway, Hazlehurst Field is fascinating to me because that's the airfield that Charles Lindbergh took off on his flight across the Atlantic. So just kind of a little bit of aviation history that I am very, very loosely tied to, but it just fascinates me just the same. And for those of you who are members of the Daedalians, I received a membership, named member. I can't tell you his name. So I started doing research on that guy, and I learned that he had a real short career in military aviation. He committed suicide. Well, that was kind of disturbing to me. So I wrote to the Daedalians and I said, hey, look, this is really depressing to have a guy as my named member as a guy who committed suicide. So I asked them if they could change my named member, which is the way they run the program, and they so graciously did. I've got a membership card naming me for Leighton Hazlehurst. And it's a little thing, but those are little things, a little bit of heritage that it all adds up. The other thing is kind of funny, I guess, if you will. I went to General H.H. Arnold High School in Wiesbaden, West Germany. Now they changed it to Wiesbaden High School because they didn't want to offend some damn German or somebody. Who cares? Anyway, I graduated from General H.H. Arnold High School. I'm very proud of that. So anyway, that kind of tells you the story of Leighton Hazlehurst this morning. I hope you enjoyed it. And there's something nagging me, something else that I should be telling you about, but I'll make up for it in the April church notes if I remember it. If I don't, it wasn't that important. So good to see everybody, and we'll be back here on the channel in a couple days or so. Until then, take care. This is Bass. Did I screw that up? This is Bobo Bass Gear Stop. Take care. How do you screw up a gear check? See ya.